Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCullum, and today we're taking a look about firearms design. This is, well, the title is Firearms Anatomy Book 3, Remington's Double Derringer. But this isn't really a book about the Remington Double Derringer. I mean, it is at the surface level, but what this really is, to me, it has the feel of a friendly letter of advice, extended letter of advice from your uncle, the gun designer, to you, the new aspiring gun designer, about what can go wrong and what are some basic principles you should be aware of. Well, there's a whole section on here on the maxims of firearm design, and he doesn't mean Hiram Maxim, he means the principles of firearms design. And while the book is, at the surface, written about the Remington Double Derringer, it is an analysis of the design, the problems, the safety elements of a Remington Double Derringer, because as it was originally designed in the 1870s, it could never actually be produced today. And he has a comparison to, say, the Bond Arms Derringers that are a very similar configuration but have way more modern safety features in them. There's discussion of different safety features. What could have Remington put into these guns as better, more modern safety features? Some that were available at the time, some that weren't. At any rate, there's all of this discussion, but really this comes down to what's the mindset? What do you need to know if you're interested in being a firearms designer? Now, Mr. Findlay has extensive experience from which to speak here. He worked for 26 years at Remington as a designer, and then a manager of designers, and then in firearms testing, and then subsequently also worked for Smith & Wesson, Marlin, and Kimber, if I have my memory straight, and has something like 24 firearms patents in his name. He knows what he's talking about here, and I found it really interesting to read through this. And frankly, I would highly recommend this to anyone who's interested in actually pursuing firearms design, whether professionally or at an amateur level, including you guys who are out there playing around with 3D printed stuff, because the principles of firearm design are not different because something's made out of a printer and you squirted it out in your basement than if it was made in a big mechanized factory. And there's a lot of 3D printed gun designers who are very interested in technology, but do not have the background in firearms design to do properly good work. And this would be an excellent resource for folks in that category. It's worth pointing out, I said this is book 3. Books 1 and 2 were on the M1A1 Thompson and the Sten Mark II. They're also very cool. They come at this from a slightly different approach. They're about the engineering and design of submachine guns like these, where this is much more about the fundamentals of design, and frankly, I think a lot of this would apply to designing anything else that is mechanical and fabricated. Anyway, the book is self-printed. It is available on Amazon for 35 bucks. Again, I'd highly recommend it. It's a quick read. It's 220 some pages. The text is large. The spacing is wide. It will not take you more than an hour to go through the book initially, but I think there's a lot of wisdom in there that's worth coming back to. It also, by the way, includes all of the technical drawings for making a Remington Double Derringer. If you ever wondered what goes into the blueprints for a gun, and you wondered how could there be 100 pages of stuff just to make something so incredibly simple as a Double Derringer, well, here's your case in point. All of the design drawings are in there, as well as all of the relevant patents as appendices. So a really cool historical overall analysis on the Remington Double Derringer, and good information aside as well. Anyway, I'll include a link below in the description where you can pick it up on Amazon if you're interested. A big thanks to Mr. Findlay for sending me copies of all 3 of his books. I really have quite enjoyed them, and I think they're definitely worth checking out if this is a subject area you're interested in. Thanks for watching.